Hello and welcome back, everybody. How was your weekend? Um, so today I'm going to take a break from doing any specific series, mostly just because I saw the weekly 3-star in this case, but the highest level kind of random run, and I specifically saw this power, which is very funny without the right art. I feel like it's supposed to be Tryndamere, I'm pretty sure, but this is obviously not Tryndamere, unless he looks quite different now. But this power is particularly one of the more brutal ones to play against. Maybe even the most difficult power, like single power to play against. What it says is each round, the first time the first time the foe's unit would die, grant them tough, overwhelm, and fearsome instead. So instead of something dying, it gets 3 keywords, one of which makes it harder to kill them again, and the second one makes it so that they are going to punch you in the face potentially. So far, this has only been on one level, and that's Tryndamere in the Thresh run, and it makes his fight a huge pain in the ass. Enough that, like, I feel like it's probably not being valued higher enough if this is just counting as a 3-star level. But maybe it's because there's also technically a beneficial ability here. Each round, the player's first Noxus card costs 1 to play, 1 less to play. So it gives you a discount. Now, I could lean into this, or try to anyway, and play one of the Noxus champions. Oops, not Bard. Those Noxus champions are Annie and Darius. To be honest, neither of those is really what I'm interested in. Annie in particular, before she levels, she needs to use her skill from attacking to kill the enemy, because Annie herself has a 0-2. This can go very badly in a lot of situations, or just mean that you can't attack with Annie, and that's not great. Darius is a little bit closer, but a lot of his units are very small, and so you're going to have to keep, you're going to have to kill them before they get anything, like a sizable amount of units to actually stop you. And I'm a bit concerned about that. This power, like, is truly one of the most obnoxious to play against. I'm going to use Leona for 2 reasons. Leona's units are gigantic, and in this case, I have the 3-star power. Allies have Daybreak, or when you activate another Daybreak, grant me +1/+1, and that's permanent. Her units are gigantic. When you level up one of your champions, you get a Morning Light, which is huge, and no longer notably has the Daybreak ability. It just activates something else's Daybreak. And Leona herself is a pretty large body. She already has Challenger. This is actually a holdover from before when I played her. Instead, I think what I'm going to use is, where is it? I'm like failing to see where it is. There it is. Berserker's Buckle. When I survive damage, grant me +2/+2. This should help keep her huge and bigger than any of their units, and in fact give us a way to win if the game goes kind of long. And then especially combined with Regeneration, which is one of my more favorite abilities to add on to an expansive champion like Leona, where I just want her to be able to block and then regain her health and block again or attack again multiple times. The fact that her units are huge means that despite the fact that you can't trade 1-for-1 a lot of the times, you'll still come out ahead because your unit was already gigantic, and so your unit didn't die either. And that is very valuable to me against this power. Playing against an entire run of this seems kind of miserable, to be honest. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And we're against Noxus, which is actually kind of interesting. That was not what I expected. Alright, and then the mid-boss is Karma, Guided Meditation. Game start, all players start with 10 mana. And we can't kill Karma easily. Oh boy. This is going to be a run. Now the good news is we're in Targon, and Targon you can pick up some easy ways to get very expensive units into the deck with Invoke without actually making them without actually putting like 10 cost units in your deck, so to speak. I'm going to take Endurance. When an ally survives damage, grant it +1/+1. So hopefully it just doesn't matter and we can make our units gigantic-er. Just the most giganticest units you've ever seen. It's a little bit of a simple plan, I'm not going to lie. But I enjoy it. This ancient coin on Ravun is very funny to me now, because it means that he costs 4 when he used to cost 5, and Leona, who used to cost 4, got a buff but also a mana added to her, so now she costs 5. They've just switched places in this deck. This card also is like another reason to play Leona's deck, is that silencing something and then killing it can mean that this kills units pretty effectively for you, especially if something gets way too big and way too out of control. It will not work for the first time, but you could like force the power out where their unit lives anyway, and then use Sunburst to remove its abilities and kill it, which can be very helpful. This hand is fine. As there were other things I wanted to say, but there's not a whole lot in terms of like I actually need to. I think that there's any decisions to make here. We have a 2-drop, we have a 3-drop, we have a 4-drop, we have removal spell, now we have a Zenith Blade. We've kind of got everything we want. I played a 5-4. There's a 2-2 on the other side of the field. It's fine. Oh hey, look, we've got another 5-drop. I'm going to grant this Solari Sunhawk Overwhelm, which this thing is going to continue to get bigger every round. They'll block here just to soak up the damage, but we do hit them pretty hard. And now our unit can't block there, which is annoying, because that is the Reckless Trifarian power. This damaged units can't block. My damaged units can't block.
It's killing time!
It's killing time. So we are going to take a couple damage here from this thing, but I think it'll be okay. Because we can block this there. This will block this so that we don't take double damage. We'll take 2 here. It's okay. This doesn't die, but it becomes more hardy. And hope you can start seeing how this power really stacks up. It's not the first time. It's every time after that that you have to care about it, that it starts becoming more and more brutal.
May it never leave.
To shine like the sun, you must burn like it!
Going through the entire run of this is going to be tough. And I feel like I wanted to do this today because 1, it would be interesting. And 2, I think for anybody who struggles on this, I think Leona, even without the 3-star power, can still just be huge and impressive against all of this. So none of our units can block, by the way, so we really, really want to make sure that they die this turn. Activate an ally's Daybreak effect. I'm going to activate this one, which should pump the entire team also, and then this will stun Tarkaz. We need to get our damage in now. Right now.
For a final piece.
And thankfully, stunning a bunch of their units is a good way to sneak by, you know? Had we not, we could have taken quite a bit of damage, actually, because we had very few blockers at that point. But I actually, seeing that that's the first level, which I didn't know until I'd actually gone into the run, that makes me even more scared for, various other champions, because a lot of things, just even if you make them big enough, they won't be able to block. And that is tough. Silence a unit this round. That's actually pretty nice, just in general, but against all these units that are becoming, more and more difficult to kill at various times, I think that it will be very helpful to have that. It's also just randomly extremely powerful. Now, what's funny is we can actually just get the Darius part of the puzzle if we want it, because even though we're Leona, we can pick up some Noxus cards and actually get some bonus out of it. Now, my logic still holds. I still care way more about the Daybreak Leona, 80% of this deck, but I don't mind taking that. Maybe it's 75%? Whatever. Let's see. So our options are money, a shop, or a healer. Is there anything that I don't like in the deck that I wouldn't want to cut right now? Not really. I actually like most of the cards. Maybe it's Legion Grenadier, but having a card that only costs 1, because all of these cards are going to be discounted by 1, because we have where the enemy has this power of each round the player's first Noxus card costs 1 less to play, right? So Darius costs 5, Death's Hand costs 2, Legion Grenadier costs 1. Kind of just okay with it. Maybe, honestly, I think I'll just take the money, weirdly. Game start, all sub-players summon a Mana Soul student. Alright. Works for me. Leona's 3-star power is extremely funny to me. That all your units have extra, like, basically once a turn Daybreak activations, because all your units also have a Daybreak ability. So pretty much everything, you should expect every single unit to grow by 1 every single turn. And that's weird. Not gonna lie, it's just strange. What's weird is I might just want to attack here. So I'm looking at this. If we just do this, we can get rid of their Mana Soul student before they've really done anything.
Oh, it's Fang and Fed.
You're okay, Donnie. No biggie.
Remember the entire reason that I'm doing this run with Leona? I completely forgot about it. Oh my god, that is so miserable. We're gonna take, well, you know what? Fittingly, we're gonna get punished for that. So we cannot block in a profitable way. We are just going to take damage.
No mercy for heretics. The guilty were banned.
But I'll block there. If I had just played one of these last turn, we'd actually be in pretty fine shape. But instead I tried to kill this thing, which I think we want to do, and it really cost me. So we can give a unit +1/+1 and silence an enemy follower, which will undo that. It's not the worst. We can also play Ravun. Ravun is really good because it means that we can do things like next turn play 1, 3, and 1 here. These 5 mana worth of cards, and they'll just all have Daybreak applied to them, which means that you can stack up those Daybreak effects very, very quickly. As it is, that seems like the more likely way that we're going to win. I don't think we're going to be punching through a bunch of stuff right now. Okay. Interesting. I didn't realize they would have a Ravenbloom Conservatory. We can actually attack here, I think. They can only block one of these and get, like, the effect onto it. And I think that's fine. Because we also got +1/+1 onto Ravun here. Ravun? I don't know. How do you say his name?
I don't
They have a
like
lot of
your
cards that
Stay
care
out of my
about
way.
skills, and they've only actually played one card with a skill. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to silence this 4/2. Mostly just because that'll remove all of those skill abilities, including First Strike, which is the one I don't like.
You can do better than that.
Deal 2 to a follower, deal 4 to a follower, and shoot me in the face for 1. Okay. What I'm most curious about is, like, this doesn't kill it. In fact, you just grew it by +1s. Like, what was the purpose? Why did you do that, computer?
Ours is the one true light.
So we activate all of our Daybreak
Gotta show 'em what's up.
again.
Come on.
Ah, they have another one. Okay, that makes some sense. So we can put this somewhere. Oh, it's actually kind of a pain to do that, huh? Putting this somewhere actually kind of sucks because they all have trample. Huh. This round is really, really interesting. Very interesting. So if we put this here, it dies, it just blocks this. This is silenced forever, so that's fine. Put the 7/7 here. This is going to stick around, which is annoying. But then we can go like this and get rid of these. Actually just hover over this and see, but I think I'm okay with that. We could use this to save some health here, and maybe our own guy here. Let's actually do that. This will give something to Ravun. Gave Fearsome, which wasn't what we were hoping for, but either of the items that gives health or the one that gives toughness would have let Ravun live, and I'm pretty happy anytime I can keep that card alive.
Stings.
Perfect. So we're left with some real beefy Soldari soldiers, which is not the worst place to be, honestly. So we can't activate Daybreak every time we play something anymore. It's too bad. Would have really liked to keep Ravun.
Takes more than magic to make a great
Okay,
mage, kid.
I played another one of those.
It takes might, guile, and vision.
We can silence something, which isn't the worst. But let's force in some
Don't
damage.
hold
That'll
back.
make them block in
Where are
kind
you
of
from?
You can do
useful
better than
ways.
that.
So that's going to pump that unit up quite a bit. I think I'm going to silence this to keep our unit around.
I want a refund.
That wasn't terrible. Where did we get overwhelmed? Where did we get a great club? Okay, I'll just trust. Oh, we just got it from from that hush. Funny. I'm gonna play the Solari Sunhawk. Also, I love that this is a 3-mana card and not a 6-mana card now.
Gloves off.
It's really cool, actually. Here we can use Death Sand to just let us block this thing,
Guilty will bear.
because we can shoot it and then it'll die before combat with the unit here, and so they'll just die. Phew. Thankfully, my mistake didn't cost me. A little slip up of forgetting why exactly I was playing this deck as I was.
Wanna see something cool?
This will almost kill them by itself, and we'll win. What a silly, silly match. And like, God, just such a silly power to play against. So frustrating. Ooh, we unlocked the Galio symbol. Ooh. I'm somebody who rarely switches what icon I have. I think I have the Poros, like in League of Legends, and I've never switched. I don't remember what my icon is in Legends of Runeterra, but grant your strongest ally a random common item. I like giving items to units. It's fun. So I'm gonna keep doing it. We'll go here and take the money. I could have gone here for a power, but you usually get a shop for free at some point in the run, and then that's when I try and spend my money. If foe plays a skill, grant their strongest unit +1/+0. Lord Broadmane. I think they just buffed this unit. I remember reading something about him in the patch notes, but I don't remember what now. We'll find out. Maybe they'll play him. I think I'm good on both of those, but maybe we can keep this around. I want to draw some cheaper units. I just want to get off to a strong start. Hey, we drew Death Sand anyway.
No one's the wiser.
Alright, so I play my Solari Sunhawk. Shut this unit down. And then next turn we can actually just, like, beef this up even more and silence it if we want. Not the worst.
Through the darkness, I see
I'm actually curious about my own power.
What good's power
Or when you
if you're
activate
not gonna
another
use
Daybreak. So
it?
it doesn't matter if it is the Daybreak of another unit or not.
You can do better
Weird.
than that.
Okay, so they're gonna trade here. So they're keeping alive the thing that we silenced, which is odd. And instead trading this here. But I guess it gets rid of the unit, which isn't the worst for them. Which is kind of strange, you know?
I'm
I would have
done
tried to
being
protect
scared.
this
It's
thing.
their turn.
But, we'll play Ragoon. They choose not to attack, which they basically just, like, they could have, like, attacked here with this, I guess, because it couldn't die, but it does kind of open up, like, losing a unit that'll get plus power, I suppose. So the computer decided not to. But because of that, I'm going to play Leona, who will soon be judging it.
Behold the divine power of the sun!
Behold that divine power, Leona.
Behold the sun's holy light!
Leona is so preachy, but, like, also all of her cards are really cool. I love all the sun effects.
You wanna
Ooh,
class
they get to stun
already?
something of
Not
ours.
exactly.
They're stunning our 10-7. That makes sense. So Leona doesn't get overwhelmed anymore when she flips. That's kind of annoying. She used to. It didn't make a lot of sense on her, but she used to. So it's like, I can activate the Daybreak effect again. I can attack, pull this into Leona, attack, and then this probably blocks there, and they lose their 1/1. But I don't know if I care about their 1/1 that much. But activating Leona again just will stun this.
Answer to me.
And
What do you think, Fang?
I should look at something. Does it still cost... Okay, it costs 0 forever. So we can use Leona's... We can use, like, any of these Daybreak abilities basically whenever we want. Doesn't have to be right now. Now, a nice thing about keeping this thing alive, too, is that we can use that to actually... we can use Death Sand to actually trigger the ability to go off, Undying Rage. So this gets Overwhelm, Toughness, Fearsome again. And then, in the meanwhile, we'll actually go and just kill, you know, the actual target. Play deal 2 to an enemy. Your fast spells, slow spells, and skills have when I damage a stunned unit or enemy, kill it. Oh. Okay, well, we'd like to get rid of that as soon as possible. Because that's terrifying. Annoyingly, I don't have the mana to Death Sand and Sunburst in one go. Also, it's really good that they targeted Ravoon instead of Leona. We would have just lost our Leona. Oh, it's when I damage a stunned or damaged enemy, kill it. Okay, no, that makes sense. Also, why did they kill that instead of Solari Sunhawk then? This is just bigger. Weird, weird, weird. But cool. I'm glad that, I'm glad they actually played Lord Broadbane. He's a pretty interesting unit. I'm glad he's seeing some play. We'll pass and see what they do. Okay. So use that there, and then block, block.
Come on. That all you got?
Ooh, okay. So that's going to try and kill Lord Broadbane. Or I'm sorry, kill Solari Sunhawk. I don't like that. I'm gonna silence this so it doesn't have that text.
Well, I'll be.
Why did... Had I already... Oh, I'd already Death's Handed this. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So they've lost 2 key units, and we are back in lay driver's seat. I'm going to play Solari Shieldbreaker and then this other Solari... Well, I guess not the other Solari Shieldbreaker. I keep forgetting I don't have Ravoon anymore. He has died multiple times. Usually once he is in play, that's not the biggest deal, you know? He's not likely to die over and over, but we'll find out if we could ever keep him in play. I will do this. Shoot this again to trigger this, like, Undying effect. So that these this kills that. I'm like... The, like, leaps around to keep working around this power are just like... Ugh, why?
Go on, Fang.
Why do I have to do this? Okay, so they stun Leona, that's fine. All of our units have reached the gigantic phase, so we should be able to just block things pretty indiscriminately, so that we can just move on to the next round, hopefully. Steampunk Shredder, sure. So it's going to hit everything. They're all going to get their toughness back, which, fine. I might just throw this out there in case we need it. Like, in this case, I can just put... I don't really want to put anything about the Leona in front of a... I don't know, a 6 power thing. But I'd rather have the 18 toughness regenerator block that, but... We don't have that option in this case. I could have used the Sunburst to just kill this thing, but I don't think it's necessary. Maybe it should have been, though. Maybe it would have been. I'm going to Zenith Blade. Give this Overwhelm, so hopefully we can just make sure to end this. Even if they have some stun effects or whatever. Although if they have stun effects, I suppose they're going to kill... or stop Leona, but... It also has the nice side effect of triggering Leona's ability.
Stand and fight.
We can just put that there, and win? Okay, cool. We got it. Ooh. It only took way longer than I expected.
Daylight everlasting.
Sheesh. I am technically still working right now, but it's been a pretty quiet day, so I felt like I could probably get in some games. Ooh, I'm kind of interested in this. This just gives us Overwhelm, and this is the exact sort of thing we want discounted. It can't Daybreak anyway, so what does it matter? We have all this money, and we can take either a power and maybe some cards, or an item chest. I'm gonna go with the item chest. Summon a follower with my cost from your regions. That's not bad. Because, like, the 2-for-1 nature of that is pretty nice. I'm gonna reroll, though. Don't love these. Okay, we will accept Ravoon with a draw card, because that card makes more cards, and also we want more copies of him, so being able to draw even more is nice. Kind of inclined to just cut this Legion Grenadier now. We don't really need him, and we just replaced it, like, put in another Noxus card. So we can get that, we should be able to get that discount enough that we can use it. And the 3-2 is just okay. Especially going into Karma, like, I feel like we're going to end up cutting the card anyway, so. This hand was going to be a keep until I remembered that I am against Karma. I'm going to have 10 mana to start. We don't care about curve, we care about big, expensive things like Darius. So, let us play a Darius. Ooh. And interestingly, they did not play Karma. Although she is approximately gigantic. I'm going to attack there first. Oh my god, it still doesn't die. But at least we got in a couple damage. That's not the worst. She's a 9/11. Ugh, that's so big.
There is hope.
Wah. I'm gonna put this onto Darius, and then anytime we play a spell, he'll get +1/+1, which is pretty strong. And we're sitting here with all these stun effects, which is nice, but we're about to have a lot of spells because Karma makes spells now and lets them copy them.
Take a stance and hold it.
Excuse me. So we have a couple Solari Sunhawks, which aren't great. We have Solari Soldier, which draws a card, and we can stun their Karma, so at least it can't attack. I guess we'll play that.
Illuminates the land.
Because if we can block, it's actually pretty good. Okay, so they make 4 spells in hand, and they have 5 mana left. Alright. Unworthy Soul. Recall a unit or landmark. If it has any attachments, destroy them first. Wow. What an incidentally great card for this exact moment.
Ever vigilant.
You know, I couldn't have seen that one coming. I still don't really want to play anything. Like, we want all of these Daybreak effects. Man, if I'd known Karma was the mid-level, I might have gone with Leona, just because Leona's a little awkward here. Honestly, I just want to find Ravoon so badly. That's not it. And unfortunately, we took away our way to trigger the ability easily. Okay, so they swapped some stuff around. That's fine. Don't have great options right now. I can trigger one of these, but that doesn't even do anything. I can get Darius back into play, but I'd like him to be getting power and toughness. Dang. What is the play here? I can... Nope. I really wish I hadn't blocked this thing. I wish I had just Death's Hand, like, because having Death's Hand here would mean that we could, like, Death's Hand this, attack. I guess we just pass. Hopefully they play something small. Please? I mean, maybe I just have to play. Okay, I think I just have to play Darius. We're falling way too far behind in like number of units. So I'm gonna pass. We're really. This is like the nightmare scenario against Karma. She's making spells. She's copying spells. It's all going badly. Let's see. Hold on. Will this... Okay, so Darius will still get it even if he didn't Daybreak the first turn. That's nice.
Against darkness.
Okay. So we level Leona, because we finally played for Daybreak. They're going to Discipline of Force onto this thing twice. Okay. I mean, I guess. That stuns Karma.
Take the high ground.
Alright, they played a unit that we can Death's Hand. That's good. That is, like, actively good. So, we put this here. We'll take a few damage. Attack, attack, attack. I think we just pass.
Hey, Krabby.
That's my resting face.
Okay.
Full speed ahead.
You're under our protection.
Okay. Really weird. I think I'm just gonna kill this because it can become a problem. We don't have a way to block elusive units, so I'll just like get a bunch of nonsense out.
Zern.
What did we get? We got more. We got +1/+3 basically. Okay. Yeah. We really need to find Ravoon so that we can. He'll make a Daybreak unit. He'll draw a card. We can use the Morning Light. Oh, thank God! Finally. Oh my God, Ravoon, you're here. We've been waiting.
Solari control all that her warmth touches.
Sunlight
All right.
blinds.
Perfection. So now I can probably play this first. I'm going to grant Ravoon plus power,
Darkness, I see something
or +1/+1, and I'm going to silence this thing that they made gigantic for some reason. Just because I don't want to be looking at an 8/10 or a 4/10 or whatever it was at that point. We still have 5 mana, so I'm probably going to do that, but
Feel the
first,
sun's
let's
glory.
attack. I will put this here, and everything else will trade. And then we can, after things have hopefully gone well this turn, we can Sunburst Karma and just remove a Karma from play, so they have to actually spend mana playing it. They're going to summon some Liminal Guardians. They are going to pick up the 4/2.
Compassion,
That's kind of
not
annoying.
anger, drives us to war.
Because now this doesn't die. Okay. But it's only a 6/4. That's not that big of a deal. Then we will silence this, which will reduce its power and toughness quite a bit. And we can remove a Karma. So they have to actually spend mana replaying Karma next turn. Ravoon literally just did that. I was pointing out, like, that's how critical this card can be to this deck sometimes. It's like when you actually find yourself in kind of a bind, you need Ravoon to get
Face
you out
my
of it.
shield.
Thankfully, we just have 2 big regenerate units, so they can't. Even though this power is kind of annoying, they're making like Leona just huge. Like after taking 6 damage, she has 15 toughness. We can just pass here. See what they do mostly, but otherwise we're kind of fine, and I can use this to stun a bunch of stuff and hopefully just get in the damage. Like, none of this really mattered. Cap. So Solari Sunhawk. Play this. stun their two strongest units. Which, if we want to, we can pull back in with Leona. But I don't think we'll want to. I think we'd rather get Leona in and requiring a block somewhere else.
Whatever the cost.
In fact, I'm going to +1/+2 and overwhelm Leona. And draw this new Zenith Blade, and then this is Stun Karma. This is the real strength of like the late game situations with Leona, is once you can trigger the stuns from Daybreak multiple times, like there's not a lot for them to do.
The dragon will keep you safe.
From shores to hills, we know every acre.
Alright, math is for blockers. Although it's nice when, you know, you have a pretty good sense that math is... Even if math is for blockers, it doesn't really matter here. Because we have a ton of damage. Again, playing Leona because that makes all of our things huge. Darius flipped. Wow, he's so powerful. Good for you, Darius. Good for you.
Our deeds will be written in the heavens.
Our deeds will be written in the heavens. Perfect. Okay, so we made it through the level that I'm like almost always the most worried about. And for that, we can... I don't think we really need to care about our health too much. We really didn't take damage. We can just, like, make a gigantic Leona. Which, or, like, you know, give her some help on becoming gigantic Leona. How about that? We'll go this way. Allies have Overwhelm. Okay, well, that was probably the easiest pickup we could have taken. We had to kind of, like, figure out a way to get Overwhelm onto Leona with the Zenith Blades. I'd rather not have to do that, just because it takes time. So we're going to go against a vicious enemy who's already a vicious enemy from the scenario powers. Pit Fighter. Round dead, deal 2 to the player's stunned units. Thankfully our units are huge, so that won't just like, kill stuff, but that is the sort of power that with other decks, you'll play a unit, it'll get stunned, it'll just die. And that'll happen a few too many times and then you lose the game. Here it's even kind of fine because a lot of our units are going to be bigger than that, and then when they survive damage, they get +1/+1. So we're just happy enough with it.
My faith
Like for example, this thing is a 4/7. It's pretty big.
Gloves off.
Are we going to take some damage? Yeah. Is it the end of the world? No, because this thing was going to lose 4 toughness anyway. Like we're just all kind of fine here. Got a Hush. Not terrible. Play this, make this bigger, and I mean we'll just silence that. It doesn't matter too much, but okay. Huh? Yeah, that happens. Unfortunately, that just happened. So this is gonna take 2 again, but then it'll regain the 1, so it's kind of a wash.
I need just a moment.
Ooh, okay. That's not what I wanted to see. This thing has Challenger. It can't block, but it has Challenger, which means it's effectively a removal spell. And it's kind of a huge pain to kill right now. Summons grant me +1/+1 for each unit you've stunned or recalled this game. Weird. We're going to pass.
Face me.
Because we want to make some hopefully good blocks. We can't get anything really to live, sadly, but we can use Death's Hand to kill something. Block 5.
I cannot turn back.
I actually played both Death's Hands to make sure that lives, I suppose. I also put it onto this thing, which I care less about. The 3/2 isn't big enough usually. That might actually be better. Well, no, because then that just means that lives. Wait, that's a terrible idea. Why would I do that? Oh, because this will gain Overwhelm. We'll take 1 more if we do that. I think it'll actually bring us to 13 instead, which is funny. But God, this level's weird. This level's so weird. It's so weird. Okay, we're gonna put it there, which I think saves us a damage. And then we'll save this Death's Hand for next turn. We are gonna take some damage though. We're at 32. I think we're going to 20. Yeah. Okay. But we'll get Leona. Leona is big scary. We've got lots of Leonas. Oh no.
The dawn has arrived.
We don't have a unit to kill with Death's Hand right now.
Take their land. Bury them.
Attack, stun all damaged
Stand and
enemies.
fight.
It's not great. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna get in 3. I just realized they have 50 health too, and we're sitting on a pile of not units. Ugh. But we will flip Leona. We'll level Leona next turn, which is good.
They won't
Kind of
get
no matter
past
what.
me.
Okay. We are stun all damaged enemies. We don't have any damaged enemies. That's the good news.
You pay, I fight. We were outsiders. Now they bow to us.
Okay. I am going to give Leona spell shield.
dead do not
Pretty
want
sure
us
we
to
need this
mourn,
to
but they-
survive. Maybe it was a mistake going to this
I
way.
am the
Like, they have so much
bulwark
mana on
against
us.
darkness.
But we did flip Leona. Good news. We get a free copy of her spell. They stun. They can't stun that, so giving... because that has spell shield, so that was good news. Bad news, they got rid of... What did they get rid of, actually? Was that the... That was the 3-2 that we could actually kill. Unfortunate. I'm going to activate and get Leona's Daybreak ability.
Sunlight burns in our weapons.
And I think she gets Barrier because Daybreak has been activated, which is nice. That thing can't attack. Guile. Ooh. Okay, they have a Guile. Oh no. Activate Leona's Daybreak again, because we need to stun some more units. Otherwise we're taking way too much damage. So it'll stun the 6/6. So now they don't have as good of attacks.
Close the distance.
Do
And we
not
blocked there
stand
for the
against
most
me.
damage. Wow, I did not think we were gonna have trouble here. But we're not drawing units, which is the big thing, and we can't Death's Hand anything. So that took 2, but then it just regained 1 of it. This gets stunned because it's the weakest enemy. Okay. Definitely need to get rid of this. Like, absolutely critical that we get rid of that.
Feel the sun's
I think we
glory.
have to, in fact, do that. And we're going to use the Death's Hand, both Death's Hands, to kill this 4/3. But... Oh, and we got Spell Shield, which is really nice.
The world waits, begging for
+7, +7. Okay. Really unhelpful that we're drawing all of... We drew a bunch of copies of Leona on top of, like, all the other issues right now. Like, if they just attack, do we die? We might, yeah. Oh, and when he attacked this thing, because it's damaged, we just took damage. Yeah, oh my god. I did not think we were going to lose. Alright, yeah, I mean... I was going to surrender, but, like, that feels like it's actually slower. Stun an enemy? Sure. I mean, okay, show off. The AI getting revenge for every time I've done this to the AI. Alright. So we do have a revive.
This is but
For exactly
one
this sort of
sunset.
thing where you just drew, you know, it's like I drew a ton of spells and I drew a ton of Leonas, so I had very few units in play ever. Let's see if we can do it. Ooh, we got a nice visual bug. Perfect. Let's go. There's nothing we just get a second try with, but only with half health this time. Or like slightly more than half health because we gained 2 health back, but not ideal, not ideal. But we have 2 units. Could be worse. Alright, we have a Death's Hand that has been helpful in the past, although it's gotten a little less helpful sometimes. We get to attack and we can give something Challenger. Does that matter? Not really.
Ours is the
They have a
one
unit,
true
I mean, we
light.
can't really attack anyway. So I'm going to play the thing that,
Let's
even if it's a little
make this
mana
night to
efficient, like,
remember.
I think it's okay. We do not want to just take a
Where's my
trade
axe?
for no reason. But good news, both of these are quite killable by Death's Hand. So they stun the thing. We don't like that, but we don't really have much of a choice. But I can play this
Unyielding light.
as a 4, what is that, 4/7 right now?
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Okay. So
Gloves
pass,
off. Fall,
block
heretic.
there, deal 2 there. We're taking a lot of damage again. Do we get a studded leather here? That's not bad. That'll apply to all of these, so like this one got +1/+1 also. It's not too bad. So we can use this to attack here, trigger this again, and then the other one will hit something. Would be one way to do this. We can not do that because we're scared, which, fair. I think I play this because then we can control combat a little bit with this, which is
Only
nice.
the finest serve.
They draw a card off that. That's not that bad. How do I attack?
Scorching light.
Drag this here.
Devotion through
Drag
battle.
this here.
Devotion to
Attack.
I know a challenge
So that
when I see
we
one.
get in some damage and remove some relevant units.
embarrassing. Sunward.
Alright. Then we'll take some damage here, which sucks. Right? No, it's the stunned units, not the damaged units. I'm confusing these two effects. Get Leona
Daylight
into
breaks
play.
on the battlefield.
Although, and then she flips herself this
I
time,
am
that's
the
nice.
bulwark against darkness.
They did spend a lot of their mana, but... Oh, this is Ancient Coin? Okay. God, they're at 7 mana already. It's just so many. Like, the 2 mana over us is so much. They just give that +2/+2?
Sunlight
Or +3/+2? Give an ally +3/+2 this round. Okay. Weird? Ah, less weird. Okay. In that case, I'm going to activate Leona's ability, which will re-stun this. Like, so focused and intent right now. Like, I'm not gonna lose. How dare.
cannot sway me.
Absolutely not will I be losing. I have to block here to preserve my life, so... Because we are at 7. It is a little bit of a precarious situation, but you'll notice we are getting some big numbers here. 10 and 11 power is huge. Darius is not... I saw a glowing Darius and I was like, oh, easy. Darius always just kills them when he's that shiny, but not in this case. So I can give Leona Spell Shield.
They took
Here.
my love, but left my rage. Bask in
Which
the
is
light's
good, and then we'll
radiance.
stun this thing. Might be silencing that thing in a minute anyway, but I might do that after our attack.
Empire, battle by
Ooh, that
battle.
might be that it gets stunned instead. No, because that's very bad. But the good news is I can go like
Burn the
this.
weights out.
I'm gonna drag this here, and we're gonna drag this here. Yeah, this is how I'm gonna attack. And then these will probably just block and whatever. Oh, interesting. They didn't go for the trade there. And then, even though we don't have Daybreak, I'm going to +1. Maybe just +1 this, just because it gives us the best, like,
Tell
better
me,
blocks
Oracle,
with that.
What do you see?
And silence this thing, because I would rather not have this anything get stunned automatically. It's like, this guy is really similar to the Frostbite something every round. I don't want to play against that effect. It scares me. I'm a coward. Let's not do it. Alright. So +3/+2. We just died again. Because these things have overwhelm. Holy shit, the computer just got us so good.
The skies darken.
Okay. This is why this effect is so good. Alright, well, you know what? I think I'm still going to upload this. I think I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to think about this, because I don't... Now I kind of, like, knowing that now that there's karma... I mean, granted, I took the harder path. I could probably have still won without that. Knowing that there's karma in the middle, because we did... The karma level was a bit scary. Could have gone really scary if they had gotten a little bit different cards. But knowing that... And knowing about that level, because I want to beat that level now, because that was really tough, but also very interesting. I want to make sure that Leona is the best thing to be doing. But yeah, I'll post more thoughts, and I'll probably post another one of these tomorrow. So yeah, be back tomorrow. And interesting that we're posting my first loss video. See you tomorrow.